Listen, let me tell you something right now. Life will never hand you everything you want. You can pray about it, cry about it, talk about it all day long, but if you don't push yourself, it ain't gonna happen. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to knock on your door and say, here's your dream, wrapped up with a bow. No, you gotta get up, push yourself, and make it happen. See, too many people are sitting around waiting for the right time. When I get the money, I'll start. When I feel ready, I'll go for it. When everything lines up perfectly, then I'll take my shot. Let me help you, the right time will never come. You will never feel 100% ready. If you keep waiting for perfect, you'll be sitting in the same spot 5 years from now, broke, frustrated, and mad at yourself. The only way you move forward is by pushing yourself when it's uncomfortable, when it's scary, when you don't even know how it's gonna work out. You think successful people woke up with everything laid out for them. No, they were scared too. They were broke too. They doubted themselves too. But they pushed, they said, I don't care if I fail, I don't care if people laugh, I don't care if it doesn't look good right now. I'm moving anyway, and because they moved, doors opened. Opportunities showed up. That's the secret. If you move, life moves with you. If you sit still, life passes you by. Let me make it plain, if you don't push yourself, you'll stay where you are. If you don't get up, nothing changes. You're not tired because you work too hard. You're tired because you're stuck in the same cycle. And the only way to break that cycle is to do the very thing you keep avoiding. That phone call you don't want to make it. That skill you don't feel like learning, learn it. That risk you keep talking yourself out of, take it. Push yourself, because nobody's going to do it for you. Now, don't get it twisted. Pushing yourself doesn't mean life will get easy overnight. Oh, no. It means you're about to enter a season where you'll be stretched, tested, and challenged. But every time you push, you grow. Every time you step out, you build confidence. Every time you refuse to quit, you get stronger. And before long, the thing you thought was impossible starts looking normal. Think about this when a baby first learns to walk. They fall every 5 seconds. They wobble, they tumble, they hit the floor. But do they quit? No. They get up and push again. That's the only reason you can walk today, because you pushed through the falling. What makes you think it's any different with your dreams? You're gonna fall, you're gonna fail, you're gonna stumble. But if you keep pushing, you'll get it. Stop worrying about who's watching you. Stop waiting for people to clap for you. Stop needing everybody to understand your vision. Some people can't see it because it wasn't given to them. It was given to wow you. It's your dream, it's your calling. It's your responsibility. And the only way you honor it is by pushing yourself to make it happen. So the question is, are you willing to push past the excuses, past the fear, past the laziness, past the doubt, and step into the life that belongs to you? Because let me tell you something on the other side of your push. There's a version of you you've never met before. A strong you, a braver you, a successful you. But you'll never meet that person if you stay where you are. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Because truth be told, it does not exist. We've been conditioned to believe that if we just hold out long enough, if we wait until the stars align and the money looks right and the circumstances feel good, then suddenly the road will clear and everything will be easy. But that's not how life works. The idea of a perfect time is a trap, a lie we tell ourselves to avoid doing the hard thing in the present moment. Every single person who has ever made something of themselves had to step out when the timing looked wrong, when the bank account was empty, when the people around them said it didn't make sense. They understood that waiting for perfection means wasting years. And that's what most people do. They waste years of their lives thinking that someday, maybe when the timing feels right, they'll finally take that step. But someday never comes, and those years never come back. Think about it like this. If you wait until you feel ready, you'll still be waiting at 70 years old. Readiness is an illusion. The truth is growth never happens in comfort. And opportunity rarely comes in neat packages. You can't sit around waiting for all the green lights before you start the journey. If you did that, you'd never even leave your driveway. Sometimes you've got to step out while it's dark, while it's uncertain, while you're trembling a little bit, because it's only by moving that you learn. It's only by stepping into the unknown that you figure out what you're made of. We make excuses and call them preparation. We say, I'm just waiting until I save more money. I'm just waiting until the kids are older. I'm just waiting until I feel more confident. And the reality is, none of that will ever feel like enough. There will always be bills. There will always be responsibilities. There will always be a reason to postpone. But if you want something bad enough, you have to stop using the future as an excuse and start doing something in the now. Because nothing changes in your life until you change what you do daily. The job isn't going to walk into your hands. The business isn't going to build itself. The body you want isn't going to appear while you're scrolling on your phone. Waiting kills dreams faster than failure ever could. It's easy to look at other people who seem to have it all together and think, oh, they must have waited until the time was right. No, they didn't. They moved when it was hard. They acted when it didn't make sense. They started when they had more questions than answers. They built momentum by doing, not by waiting. And that's the key. You don't need the perfect plan. You don't need every detail figured out. You just need enough courage to start. You learn on the way, not before the way. You grow by stepping into the mess, not by sitting on the sidelines dreaming about it. If you think about the people you admire, the ones who inspire you, you'll realize they didn't start from some magical, comfortable place. They started with nothing but a vision and a determination not to let time rob them. The perfect time is a myth, but action is real. Movement is real. You get stronger by moving, not by waiting. And every small action you take, even if it feels insignificant in the moment, pushes you closer to where you want to be. A book is written one page at a time. A marathon is run one step at a time. A dream is built one day at a time. If you wait for the perfect day, you'll never write, you'll never run, you'll never build. You'll sit there rehearsing a life you never actually live. Stop waiting for clarity. 2, some people think they need to see the entire staircase before they take the first step. But life doesn't work that way. You see the next step and then you take it. And once you do, the next one reveals itself. That's how faith and action operate together. If you keep standing at the bottom demanding to see the top, you'll never move. It's only in motion that the path becomes clear. You can't steer a parked car. You've got to get it rolling first. And yes, it will be scary. You'll feel unqualified, unprepared, and uncertain. But that's exactly how it's supposed to feel. Those feelings are proof you're growing, proof you're leaving the comfort zone. If it feels safe, it means you're standing still. If it feels risky, it means you're moving. Stop trying to eliminate the discomfort and instead use it as confirmation that you're headed in the right direction. Every great leap comes with shaky legs. People waste too much of their lives waiting for the right mood, the right day, the right season. But discipline doesn't care about moods, and success doesn't care about timing. Success cares about effort, consistency, and boldness. You will never regret starting, but you will regret waiting. You will never regret trying, but you will regret letting the years slip by. The clock doesn't stop for anybody, and every day you wait is a day you could have been building, learning, or improving. The perfect time isn't coming. The only time you have is now. What you do today will determine where you are tomorrow. You either keep waiting for an imaginary moment of perfection, or you push forward in the mess of the present moment. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simple. One group waits, the other moves. The ones who move aren't braver, smarter, or luckier. They just decided they couldn't afford to wait anymore. Nobody's coming to save you, and the sooner you accept that, the stronger you become. Too many people live their lives waiting for a handout, waiting for someone to rescue them, waiting for somebody to believe in them so strongly that everything changes. But life doesn't work like that. No one is going to walk into your world with the magic key to unlock your destiny. No mentor, no partner, no boss. No parent is going to fight harder for your dream than you will. It is your responsibility, and if you don't take ownership of it, you will keep circling in the same place, blaming others for what you were always supposed to do yourself. This mindset of waiting for someone else is dangerous because it places your power in somebody else's hands. You convince yourself that your boss has to notice you, that your family has to support you, that your friends have to clap for you before you can start. But what happens if they don't? What happens if no one ever validates you? Does that mean your dream dies? No, it only dies if you decide not to push forward. People often confuse support with salvation. Support is nice. Encouragement is helpful, but salvation, that's on you. You can get all the advice in the world, but if you never act on it, it's wasted. You can get all the applause in the world, but if you never show up for yourself, it's meaningless. The truth is everybody is dealing with their own struggles. The people you're waiting on to rescue you are busy trying to rescue themselves. They don't have the time or energy to save you. And even if they did, it wouldn't last. Because until you learn to rely on yourself, any solution someone gives you will only be temporary. Think of it like this. If someone gives you a fish, you'll eat today. But if you learn how to fish, you'll eat every day. Waiting for someone to feed you leaves you hungry again tomorrow. Taking responsibility to feed yourself guarantees that you never go without. This idea that someone else is going to fix your life often comes from fear. It's easier to wait on somebody than to face the discomfort of responsibility. If you tell yourself, I'm just waiting for the right person to show up. Then you don't have to risk failing on your own. But that's a lie. You're not avoiding failure. You're just living in a permanent state of waiting, which is worse than failure. Failure at least teaches you something, but waiting teaches you nothing. Failure brings growth. Waiting only brings regret. And you know what else? Nobody cares about your excuses. Life is hard for everybody. Everybody's got paying bills, responsibilities, setbacks. You are not unique in facing obstacles. You are unique in how you choose to handle them. Some people rise up and take control, while others stay in the corner crying for a savior who never comes. And years later, those same people look around and wonder why their lives never changed, why their dreams never came true. It's because they never stood up and fought for themselves. The people who get ahead in life are not the ones who had the most help. They are the ones who refuse to wait. They stopped blaming their parents, their circumstances, their environment. They said, it's on me if I want better. I have to do better. That shift in mindset is everything. Because once you accept that nobody's coming to save you, you stop waiting and you start creating. You stop complaining, you start building. You stop needing approval and you start moving regardless. Think about the most powerful moments in your life. Weren't they the ones where you had no choice but to rely on yourself? The moments where you had to dig deep, where you had to push even when you were tired, where you had to figure it out with no blueprint. Those are the moments that built your character. Those are the moments that prove to you that you can stand on your own 2 feet. Every time you've been forced to rely on yourself, you came out stronger and you didn't even realize it. That's what this life is about. Strength is not given, it is forged. We live in a world where people love to point fingers. If they're broke, it's because the system is against them. If they're unhappy, it's because people didn't treat them right. If they're stuck, it's because nobody gave them a chance. But the truth is, even if all those things are true, the responsibility is still yours because life doesn't reward excuses, it rewards action. It doesn't matter how unfair your situation is. If you don't push yourself, it won't change. Harsh, yes, but reality doesn't care about feelings. You either make it happen or you don't. And the beautiful part of this truth is that it sets you free. Once you stop waiting on others, you realize how much power you really have. You can change your habits. You can learn new skills. You can discipline yourself. You can chase opportunities. You can build your own doors if nobody's opening theirs for you. You are capable of more than you think, but you'll never discover that until you stop expecting someone else to unlock it for you. Nobody's coming to save you, but you don't need saving. What you need is courage, grit, and determination. You need to believe that you are enough, that your hands, your mind, your effort are more powerful than any outside help. You don't need a savior. You need to step up and be your own. Fear and failure are part of the process, and the sooner you embrace that, the more unstoppable you become. Too many people run from fear like it's the enemy, when in reality, fear is just a signal that you're about to step into something greater than you've ever done before. It's proof that you're stretching, that you're daring to go beyond your comfort zone. If you don't feel fear, it means you're not moving, you're not growing, you're standing still. People think fear means stop, but in truth, fear means go. It means you're on the right track because nothing worth having has ever been achieved without it. Failure works the same way. We treat failure like it's the end, like it's some kind of final verdict that proves we weren't good enough. But failure is not the end, it's the beginning. Every failure is a lesson, every mistake is feedback, every setback is a stepping stone. The problem is that most people take failure personally instead of practically. They think failure means they are the failure, when all it means is that the method they tried didn't work. The only real failure is refusing to try again. As long as you keep getting back up, failure is not your enemy, it's your teacher. Look at the people you admire, the ones who inspire you. Every single one of them has a trail of failures behind them. The difference is they didn't stop there. They learned, adjusted, tried again, and pushed forward. The world only sees their success. But if you look behind the curtain, you'd see rejection letters, bad business deals, closed doors, sleepless nights, moments where they wanted to quit. But they didn't quit. They let fear and failure shape them instead of stopping them. That's why they're where they are, and that's why so many others are stuck. The problem with running from fear and failure is that it makes your world small. You end up living inside a box you built for yourself, never daring to step outside of it. You tell yourself, I'm safe here. I won't get hurt here. I won't be embarrassed here. But safe doesn't change your life. Safe doesn't build greatness. Safe doesn't unlock potential. Safe keeps you exactly where you've been. And if you want more out of life, you've got to break out of that box, no matter how scary it feels. Fear is not a stop sign. It's a green light. It's an invitation to grow. And failure is not a dead end. It's a detour pointing you toward a better path. When you change the way you see them, everything changes. Suddenly, fear becomes excitement and failure becomes data. Suddenly, you're not avoiding challenges, you're seeking them because you know each one is making you sharper, stronger, and wiser. The truth is, you can't build resilience without resistance. Just like a muscle only grows when it's pushed to the limit, you only grow when you face things that test you. If you never fail, it means you're not trying hard enough. If you never feel afraid, it means you're playing too small. Failure and fear are proof that you're in the game, proof that you're moving towards something bigger. They're not curses, they're confirmations. Think back to the first time you learned something new. Maybe it was riding a bike. Maybe it was swimming. Maybe it was driving a car. Were you scared? Probably. Did you fall or make mistakes? Definitely. But you pushed through anyway, and once you did, the thing that once scared you became second nature. That's how life works. Everything new feels intimidating until it doesn't. Everything challenging feels impossible until it doesn't. The only way it stops being scary is by doing it scared. But here's the catch: most people don't want to look foolish. They don't want to be seen stumbling, falling, or getting it wrong. Pride holds them hostage. But pride will keep you broke. Pride will keep you stagnant. Pride will keep you from everything you're capable of. You've got to be willing to look like a beginner, to look like you don't have it all figured out, to fall flat on your face if that's what it takes. Because every master was once a disaster. Every expert was once a beginner. Every winner was once a loser. The difference is they weren't afraid of looking bad while they were learning. Fear will always whisper to you, don't do it. Stay safe. Stay comfortable. Failure will always tempt you to quit, to believe you're not cut out for this. But you've got to push back against those voices. You've got to remind yourself that fear and failure are not signs to stop, but signs to keep going. Because if you can endure them, you'll outlast the people who quit at the first sign of difficulty. Most people quit early, and that's why the world is filled with almosts and what-ifs. But if you decide that fear and failure won't break you, you put yourself in the rare category of those who actually make it. The truth is, fear is energy. You can let it paralyze you, or you can let it fuel you. Fear means you care. It means you want it. And failure means you tried. It means you stepped into the arena. It means you had the courage to take a chance. Both are signs of life. Both are signs that you're moving in the right direction. The only people who don't feel fear or failure are the ones who aren't doing anything at all. Consistency beats talent when you refuse to quit. You can be the most talented person in the room. You can have all the natural gifts, all the intelligence, all the advantages. But if you don't show up day after day, someone with half your talent will pass you by. Talent can open the door, but consistency is what keeps it open. Talent might get you noticed for a moment, but consistency is what builds a reputation. Talent might start the race, but consistency is what finishes it. The world is full of people with talent who never went anywhere because they thought talent was enough. But talent without discipline is wasted, and discipline is nothing more than consistency in action. Consistency means showing up when you don't feel like it, when the excitement is gone, when nobody is clapping for you, when it looks like nothing is working. Anybody can be motivated for a day, a week, maybe even a month, but consistency is about showing up for years. It's about pushing through boredom, through frustration, through obstacles, through setbacks. Consistency is about building brick by brick when nobody notices, when nobody praises you, when it seems like the wall isn't growing. That's why consistency is rare. Most people quit too soon, thinking their effort doesn't matter. But every rep matters, every hour matters, every small step forward matters. And those who stay consistent are the ones who eventually separate themselves from the crowd. The truth is, consistency is harder than talent because it requires patience. Talent is flashy. It looks good instantly. It gets quick applause. Consistency is quiet. It's unglamorous. It's the work behind the scenes that no one celebrates. Consistency is waking up early to grind when nobody's watching. It's studying when you'd rather sleep. It's practicing the same move 1,000 times until it becomes second nature. It's putting in the work when you're not sure if it's paying off yet. And that's why consistency always wins. It builds character. It builds resilience. It builds results that talent alone cannot. Think about athletes. Natural talent will give someone an edge in the beginning, but it's the athlete who trains relentlessly, who eats right, who practices when everyone else goes home, who refuses to quit when it hurts. That's the one who ends up on top. The same is true in business, in relationships, in life. You can be charming, smart, or creative, but if you're inconsistent, people won't trust you. They won't rely on you. They'll see you as potential that never delivered. Consistency creates credibility, and credibility builds influence. What people forget is that consistency compounds. Small actions done every day add up in powerful ways over time. If you read for 30 minutes a day, it doesn't seem like much, but in a year you've read several books that could change your mindset. If you save a little money every week, it doesn't feel big at first, but over time you've built stability in options. If you exercise daily, even lightly, the changes might be invisible at first, but a year later, you're a completely different person. Talent might give you a head start, but consistency multiplies whatever you have until it becomes unstoppable. Consistency also builds confidence. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen your belief that you can be relied upon. Every time you show up despite excuses, you prove to yourself that you have what it takes. That self-trust becomes a force that carries you through difficult seasons. On the other hand, every time you break your word to yourself, you weaken your confidence. That's why consistency matters so deeply. It's not just about results, it's about identity. Consistency shapes who you are becoming, not just what you are achieving. One of the biggest lies people tell themselves is that they need to wait until motivation hits before they take action. But motivation is fleeting. You'll feel motivated some days and exhausted on others. You'll feel inspired one moment and discouraged the next. If you rely on motivation, you'll be inconsistent, and inconsistency kills momentum. Discipline is greater than motivation because discipline is built on consistency. It's doing the work whether you feel like it or not. It's refusing to negotiate with your excuses. That's why people who are consistent eventually outpace everyone else. They don't wait for perfect conditions, they just keep going. The truth is, most people underestimate how close they are when they quit. They put in work for weeks or months. They don't see the results they want, and they stop. What they don't realize is that consistency works like planting seeds. You water them, you nurture them, and for a long time, you see nothing. It looks like the soil is empty, but under the surface, roots are forming. Then one day, growth bursts through, and it looks like it happened overnight. But it wasn't overnight, it was consistency. If you quit too soon, you never see the fruit of your labor. That's why quitting is so dangerous. It robs you of the harvest that was already on the way. And yes, consistency is boring sometimes. It's repetitive, it's unexciting, it can feel like drudgery. But that's where greatness is made. Anyone can get excited about a new idea, a new goal, a new plan. But it's the person who sticks with it after the excitement fades who wins. Because consistency is not about emotion, it's about commitment. It's about saying, I may not feel like it today, but I'm gonna do it anyway because I know where it's taking me. But consistency is the bridge between dreams and reality. You can dream all you want, but without consistent effort, it stays a fantasy. You can talk about your goals all day long, but if you don't show up daily, nothing changes. Dreams without consistency are just wishful thinking. Consistency is what transforms the invisible into the visible, the imagined into the achieved. Your vision is yours alone. Don't expect everyone to see it. When you carry a dream inside of you, when you carry a calling, an idea, or a fire that won't go out, you have to understand that not everyone around you will understand it, and that's okay. Your vision was placed in you, not in them. It was designed for your eyes, your heart, your spirit. Too many people give up on their dreams because they look around for validation and don't find it. They share their ideas with friends, family, coworkers, and when they don't get the reaction they hoped for, they start doubting themselves. But the truth is, they weren't supposed to see it. They weren't given the same vision you were given. That's why it doesn't make sense to them. When people don't understand your vision, it doesn't mean it's not real. It doesn't mean it can't happen. It just means they don't have the perspective you have. Think about if you've ever tried to describe a picture that only you can see, no matter how much you explain it, the other person can't fully visualize it. They might nod, they might even say it sounds nice, but they don't see it the way you do. That's what your vision is like. It's a picture only you were given, and expecting everyone else to understand it is unfair. They're not supposed to. Some people will doubt you because your vision makes them uncomfortable. It reminds them of the dreams they gave up on. When they hear your ambition, it stirs up their insecurities, so they project the doubt back onto you. They'll say things like, that's too risky, that's unrealistic, or why don't you just be grateful for what you have? But what they really mean is, I was too scared to chase my own vision, and I don't want to be reminded of it. You can't let their fears become your limits. If you do, you'll shrink your dream down to fit their comfort, and your vision was never meant to fit in someone else's box. There will also be people who laugh at you, not because your vision is impossible, but because they can't imagine themselves doing it. They measure your dream against their capacity, not yours. They say, that can't be done, when what they really mean is, I can't do that. That's why you can't take their opinions personally. They are speaking from their own lens, their own limitations. But just because they can't see it doesn't mean you can't achieve it. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in history were laughed at before they were celebrated. Airplanes, electricity, technology, all of them sounded crazy until someone made them real. Your vision requires faith, not consensus. If you wait for everyone to agree with you before you move, you'll never move. You'll be stuck in a cycle of seeking approval instead of pursuing progress. Approval is not necessary for destiny. The only validation you need is your own commitment to the dream inside of you. That commitment will carry you further than applause ever could. Because applause comes and goes, but your inner conviction has to remain steady. Sometimes the people closest to you will be the ones who understand your vision the least. That can hurt, but it's not a sign to quit. It's a sign that you were chosen for something bigger than your immediate circle. You were given a responsibility they weren't given. And if you try to drag everyone with you, you'll slow yourself down. Not everyone is meant to walk the journey with you. Some people are meant to watch from the sidelines, and that's okay. You don't need a crowd to accomplish something great. Many times, greatness starts in silence, in solitude, in obscurity. Protect your vision because it's fragile in the beginning. Don't share it with everyone, especially with people who have a habit of tearing things down. Share it selectively with those who can nurture it, encourage it, or challenge it in a constructive way. And even then, remember that no one else is responsible for it. They can support you, but they can't carry it for you. They can encourage you, but they can't then push the dream forward for you. That's your work, your responsibility. Your vision might look impossible right now. That's because it's supposed to stretch you. It's supposed to require growth. It's supposed to pull you into becoming more than who you are today. If it were small enough for everyone to understand, it wouldn't be big enough for you to pursue. Your dream should scare you a little and excite you a lot. And if it feels too big, that's the point. It's not just about what you can do. It's about what you can grow into. There will be times when you feel lonely pursuing your vision because it looks like no one else understands. But that loneliness is proof you're walking a path that belongs to you. Don't let the silence fool you. Just because nobody's cheering doesn't mean you're not making progress. Just because nobody sees the vision doesn't mean it's not real. Progress is often invisible until it becomes undeniable. When you stay faithful to your vision, eventually the same people who doubted you will ask how you did it. The same people who laughed will respect you. The same people who dismissed you will want to learn from you. But you can't live for that moment. You can't build your dream out of a desire to prove others wrong. You have to build it out of the desire to prove yourself right. Your vision is personal, it's sacred, it's unique. It's not meant to be explained in a way that makes sense to everyone. It's meant to be lived out by you. So when you face doubt, when you face misunderstanding, when you face criticism, remind yourself that they don't have to see it because it wasn't given to them. It was given to you, and that's all that matters. On the other side of discomfort lies the version of you you're meant to become. Most people spend their entire lives running away from discomfort, avoiding anything that feels hard, scary, or uncertain. But the truth is, every breakthrough, every transformation, every step toward greatness comes wrapped in discomfort. Growth is uncomfortable by design. Change is uncomfortable by design. If you want to evolve into the person you're meant to be, you have to be willing to walk through seasons of discomfort. You can't skip the process. You can't sidestep the stretching. You can't reach your higher self while clinging to comfort. Comfort zones are dangerous because they feel safe while they're slowly suffocating your potential. You think you're protecting yourself by staying where it's easy, but what you're really doing is imprisoning yourself. Comfort is familiar, it's predictable, it's cozy, but it never leads anywhere new. If you never step out, you'll live the same year over and over again and call it a life. The version of you that you dream about, the stronger, wiser, more capable version doesn't live in your comfort zone. They live on the other side of the discomfort you've been avoiding. Discomfort is the gym for your character. Just like muscles only grow when they're pushed under resistance, your spirit, your discipline, your confidence only grow when you endure pressure. Every time you push through discomfort, you build strength. Every time you face something you thought you couldn't handle, you expand your capacity. Over time, the things that once scared you, once stretched you, once intimidated you become normal. That's how growth works. What feels unbearable today will feel like a warm-up tomorrow if you keep showing up. Think about the first time you did something new, speaking in public, Starting a job, moving to a new place. At first, it felt uncomfortable. Your nerves were on fire. Your stomach was in knots. You doubted yourself every step of the way. But the more you did it, the easier it became. That's the pattern of growth. Everything new feels overwhelming until it doesn't. The only way to get past that point is to endure the season of discomfort long enough for it to transform you. The problem is most people quit in the middle of discomfort. The moment it gets hard, the moment it feels heavy, they run back to comfort. They tell themselves it wasn't the right time, it wasn't the right opportunity, it wasn't meant to be. But in reality, they simply couldn't bear the stretch. They quit before the breakthrough, and because of that, they never meet the version of themselves they were meant to become. They never see how strong they could have been, how disciplined they could have been, how powerful they could have been. They trade growth for comfort, and in doing so, they settle for less. Discomfort is also the price of transformation because it forces you to let go of old habits, old beliefs, and old patterns. The person you are today cannot carry you into the future you dream about. Something has to change. You might have to unlearn bad habits. You might have to detach from negative influences. You might have to sacrifice temporary pleasures for long-term gain. And none of that feels comfortable, but that's the cost. The old version of you must die so the new version of you can be born, and that process is uncomfortable every single time. There's also a hidden gift inside discomfort. It shows you what you're capable of. When you face challenges that feel bigger than you, when you push through pain, fear, and doubt, you discover strength you didn't know you had. You uncover resilience you didn't realize was there. Discomfort has a way of stripping you down, testing you, and then revealing the warrior inside you that comfort would have kept asleep. People who avoid discomfort never get to meet that version of themselves. They live beneath their potential, never knowing how powerful they really are. The future you want isn't waiting on someone else to hand it to you. It's waiting on you to endure the discomfort that comes with earning it. Success is uncomfortable. Discipline is uncomfortable. Sacrifice is uncomfortable. But regret is far more uncomfortable. The pain of growth is temporary, but the pain of regret lasts forever. If you're going to be uncomfortable either way, why not choose the discomfort that transforms you instead of the one that destroys you? Discomfort is also the proof that you're moving in the right direction. If your goals don't scare you, they're not big enough. If your dreams don't stretch you, they're not worth pursuing. The path to everything you've ever wanted is paved with hard days, lonely nights, and moments where you question if it's worth it. And in those moments, you have to remind yourself that this is the process. Discomfort isn't a sign to stop. It's a sign that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. When you embrace discomfort, you also separate yourself from the majority. Most people will quit when it gets hard. Most people will choose comfort over growth. Most people will settle. But if you can learn to lean into discomfort instead of running from it, you automatically rise above the average. You build habits, skills, and resilience that others don't have. And that becomes your advantage. Discomfort becomes the very thing that sets you apart. The truth is, the life you want, the dreams you have, the success you envision, it's all waiting for you, but it requires a version of you that doesn't yet exist. To become that person, you have to walk through fire. You have to endure the stretch. You have to step into situations that scare you. On the other side of that process, you'll meet a version of yourself you never thought possible. Stronger, wiser, braver, more capable. That version of you is already inside you, but you'll never unlock them if you keep hiding in comfort.